Hello everyone, Fatty from Pack-a-Punch Traders here, and I'm going to do a quick video going over the open price play. I typically talk about the multi-day bounce. That's pretty much my favorite pattern. But there's a couple other patterns that I do like besides just like a typical breakout. And one of those is the open price VWAP claim. We had a couple of those this morning. I woke up late. It's incredibly hot here on the West Coast, so I'm sleeping in because I can't sleep at night. Um, but here we are, IMRA. QNRX, missed both of these, but we're going to dive into these. So here with QNRX, we got a low market cap, low float, and we got this kind of history as well. Nothing crazy. And this is what we typically look for. We want something that does have the history of moving. You could see this incredible move, but at the same time, you want it to not necessarily be something that's always shorted, but you want it to be on a short seller's radar. You want it to be up enough and to get to some key areas um, to trigger shorts to get in there. And that's really what happens. You get this gap up and shorts get in. And what happens is it fails to break down. This is really the evolution of a short squeeze. You get a nice spike, news, whatever the reason, it's up. And there's some volume behind it. And now it's pulling back, and we got a solid quadruple top pretty much, and shorts are failing to take this down, and it starts reclaiming key areas. And in the morning, and even in the afternoon, but I usually like to play the open price in the morning, as within the first 10-15 minutes after you give it some time to consolidate, figure out what it wants to do, create a range, start showing you a trend. So that's why I don't like to play it right away in the morning. It gets pretty choppy. So I usually wait about 15 minutes, and then I'll start really eyeing this pattern, looking for the failure to break down, the uptrending, the hold of open price. Here we got 396, which lines up right around VWAP. And then that's when you start seeing the volume pick up. It's not just the price we're looking at, we're also going to be gauging the volume, the momentum behind the price to see which direction can it possibly head into. And you could really gauge that from the volume as you get building demand, more buying coming in, and on the pullbacks you see there's not much selling going on. That's something I usually talk about a lot to see if there's some strength. And in this case, you get a higher low combined with that holding key levels. It triggers the whole short squeeze here. And here's some data on it as well. This is from last year too, so pretty cool to see that it still applies. And here we are. You could get all technical with how much it's up and whatnot. That's what I used to do. If it was up way too much, I would avoid it. Up not enough, might not look at it. So I kind of just taken the pattern of what the data is telling me and simplified it to we're looking for a gap up. Doesn't have to be right near the day high or the pre-market highs. There could be a dip from the highs and expect a dip at the open. We're looking for that failure to break down. And then this is the average spike. And let's measure this. So the open price 396. Let me pull my phone here real quick. See if it still applies. 5.2 minus 3.96 divided by 0.96. We get 31.3. So still right in line with around 30%. Just offering a good angle. All you need is 10, 15, maybe 20%. Just lock in your singles. But this is the data if you want to take a look at it. About 90% of them spike after. Okay. So most of them that do work out is going to be happening after the 15-minute period. They do need some time to consolidate. So yeah, so I'm not going to break down every single part of this. You can pause it and go over what I'm saying here. If you have any questions, just throw it in the comment section. But it applies here, QNRX, as well as IMRA. We got the same thing. This one here, a bit choppier. It Does have a bit of a higher float, but at the same time, look at that demand. We got a lot of volume coming in. And, the open price lined up with a breakout level. So unfortunate I missed this. But even though this was choppy, we got a solid top here on pre-market highs in the 170s. It keeps trying to break down, but what it does is keeps holding open price. Mid ones, 147 right here. And then let's also simplify this, bring it down. I sometimes like looking at the 15-minute candle. After some time, it really just lets me not get emotional and faked out by each minute going up or down. So just simplify it, condense it down, and look at the 5, maybe 10, whatever you're comfortable with, work with it. But here we are, you get the nice spike, and you got the topping action. Not much selling pressure on the pullbacks here. It still keeps holding up, double bottoms, and from there, you got a buildup in demand as it's holding and reclaiming key levels. So I know it looks different because it's choppier here. That's why I would prefer to look at it in a 15-minute. But you can see it. I know it's a mess here, but that's why I looked at it at a different time frame. So that's essentially what we're looking for, the failure breakdown after some time consolidating in the morning. Um, and yeah, so I missed those, but just want to go over those as well because there's some, you know, key lessons. How shorts are thinking, the battle between the short sellers and the buyers, uh, and other sellers, not just shorts, just people who might give up on the play. You might expect, some rookies to get absolutely faked out on this, and you see that it holds. You're thinking this is a key area where people are gonna be shocked when it breaks through. If you're at least a short seller. So as long as it keeps buying up and it's uptrending, holding key areas, something we typically talk about. I I know I'm like a broken record on that, but just wanted to show you a different pattern besides the multi-day bounce because we're always looking at that. And here we are, we got half an hour left. This is still holding up near its highs pretty well. Volume has definitely died off, so I don't know if I'd be buying the high at daybreak until I really see it pick up. But yeah, no trades for me today so far. Probably not at all. We got half an hour left. And yeah, and another lesson here on topping action. You got the build up in the volume, and at some point it's gonna blow off. It's that last gasp, and that's when they could possibly take over and break it down. Now you could see this, and it could also, for some reason, hold up. There's enough buying coming in, and it could trigger a whole entire other short squeeze. Same thinking. Um, but yeah, so before this gets too long and I start rambling and not making sense, that is the open price play, and I guess also the evolution of a short squeeze. So that's one thing if you don't really focus on that could help. Think like your opponent, like the other person. I typically go long. I usually think as a short seller. Okay, this thing is up. Probably going to short it because that's what I know how most short sellers think. Um, and from there, it's recognizing bullish indicators, key levels where they would probably get out that would switch the momentum into the buyer's side. So, yeah, we'll just wrap it up there. Hope everyone had a great day. I'll be back later with the watch list and going over the top plays. Besides that, we'll catch you all later. Have a great one.